Good morning, Steve. This is the video to show you the layout of how our system's set up. Obviously we have the computer sitting here in our sound booth, and the portrait, that is to be its home once it starts working again. The entry point into the sound booth is just below that. It's pretty dark down here. Let's see if I can actually get any light on it. Not easily. Now I may have to try this video again. But in short, I've already taken a picture of the master controller. It's supposed to be mounted actually in a box that sits up here on the wall, but it's just way too dark to get a picture of that at this point. I'll try to take a still with a flash on that in just a little bit. As I move to where we want to have the keypad, that is to be mounted just on the outside of the box in this port right here. This makes it simpler for those that infrequently use the building to be able to turn things on and off. So that's where that will be. I'll take you now to the mechanical room. You see it's a bit of a hike, so every time I have been working with you and running back and forth, getting a little bit of exercise. Okay, as we enter into the mechanical room, you'll see we have to the left is panel C, in the middle is panel A, and to the right is panel B. You'll also see that the DC box or power supply that I provided yesterday is up on top of panel C. As we open up panel C, you will see on the low voltage side the terminal block as well as the orange connector on the panel. Okay. As we move over to panel A, you'll see this is a real mess. I know you already have a picture of this. It appears to me that at some point they replaced the low voltage side and just stuffed it in the side of the box here. Obviously not ideal. And of course, this is where the master controller previously had been installed. Okay. As we go into panel B, it's actually a pretty clean setup in here. You'll see this is where this is the end point for the wire. This black wire right here is the other end of the control lines that's headed out to the sound booth. And of course, the way this works is they go down in the conduit coming out of the panel into a chase, and ultimately over on the far right hand side here, let's see if I get that, you'll see, let's see, get down lower here, there we go. This is the pipe that ultimately takes it underground to the other side of the building, and the other end of that wire is virtually impossible to get to. It is under carpet, under the pews. The sound, oh, by the way, while I'm here, in this panel, one of the dimmers is not working. I don't know if it just doesn't function at all, but you'll see that we have it presently set to the off position right here. The reason is we have total, if I turn it on, the light will come on in the sanctuary, but I have no control over it with either the portrait or with the computer. We've not had control over it for some time. Okay, let's go back out to the other end. As you see, the setup here is we're controlling, and you got the diagram, but you'll see those are the power cans up top there that we're controlling, as well as all the ceiling lights here in the sanctuary. Back up to the front here. Long ago, when this building was first built, about 24 years ago, the sound booth was half the size that it is today, and at that time was located over on this side, essentially in this opening between the short pew and the long pew. At that time, the underground cables, as part of the original design, the conduits, came into this area here. You'll see that the carpet is sort of torn up back in here. Underneath there's a metal plate, and that's where the other end of the conduit is. When they relocated the sound booth to the other side, they actually trenched through the concrete, extending a pipe over to that sound booth, and when doing so, they did all sorts of funky connections. That's a real rat's nest underneath there. We've had it looked at. It doesn't appear to be a fire hazard, but it's certainly very difficult to understand, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to make sure that we abandoned the original wiring for the communications, because we just don't know what's really going on in there. So I will go ahead and take a flash picture of what's going on underneath the counter down here, because you just can't find it with the video, and it just turns out too black. I'll send that to you in just a little bit as well. Thank you very much. Hope to talk to you maybe later today or tomorrow. Find out what sort of estimate it may be for you to come down here. Thanks.